Coach Corner Cat fans, and it's week 10 already, hard to believe. And of course, if you're following it all, you know we got the Marion Flyers coming this week, both 9-0 and playing for a MAC title. So I'm sure everybody's excited about that and looking forward to that. But first of all, let's back up and look at the Versailles game. The score was 21-14, Cavalier win, and it was just a really great atmosphere and fun game and good game and stressful game. Lots of highs and lows for both teams. We got ahead 14-0 early in the third quarter, and then they came right back and we blocked an extra point, which was a huge momentum swing at the time when it was 14-14, and so that kind of got us feeling a little bit better after they scored a touchdown, and then the fourth quarter it got windy and a little bit of rainy, and so it was tough sledding, but we got a score in the fourth and held them off. The defense held them off there. In the fourth quarter, they had a decent drive going, and they fumbled, and we recovered it. And we had a really good long 65-yard punt that made them go the long haul. And we stopped them on a fourth down at about the 45-yard line, and then we got a first down and ran the clock out. But really good game. Versailles had a bunch of seniors playing, and of course last year we beat them 35-34 in overtime in another thriller. So those two games back-to-back years were just outstanding football games with really good crowds and two similar towns, two similar groups of players that seem like they know each other and are very similar type guys. So really proud of our guys and happy for the coaches and happy for all of us. It was a good win. The JVs went over Saturday and won, I think, 35-7 in the JV game, so that was good. Their freshmen did beat us last Monday, so at this point, I guess we're up to 21-1 for the high school. So that's good. We feel good about that. Looking forward. So Versailles 21-14, which brings us to the Marion Flyers again. So it's obviously we know it's been a great rivalry, almost around 70 games over all these years, and it's really close. I think we're up a couple games on in the overall record out of all those years, but it's relatively pretty even, back and forth, different runs throughout the years. So Marion comes in at 9-0. They've had some tough ball games. They played Walpock the first game and won in the last few seconds on a pass, and then of course they played Versailles a couple weeks ago and won 14-13. So we scrimmaged Walpock so that you get a little bit of a taste, and so we go into this game. We're pretty healthy. We're really healthy, actually. We feel good. I'm sure they're feeling good. And this is again very similar to last year. Both teams 9-0, and looking forward to it. And the kids are getting ready, and we're trying to get them ready. And I'm sure they're doing the same. And so Marion comes in offensively with they've done a really good job of spreading the wealth and getting guys involved and throwing and passing. They're a little more run team, but they got some really good receivers, a good quarterback that's a junior. Speaking of juniors, they have a lot of juniors playing, as we do. So that's an interesting take on the game, all their juniors and all our juniors, and sprinkle in a handful of seniors on both teams. So interesting matchup. Defensively, they're still running the same defense they've run for a long time, although they've evolved and have tweaked things, I guess, like we have in certain ways, and have gotten better with the schemes and all that kind of stuff. And it's a good chess match. We're trying to figure out how we can figure out what we can do well, and I'm sure they do the same thing. And so it's an interesting matchup, and I'm sure both teams will be focused and both teams will be excited, and so we're looking forward to a fun week, and then turn it loose on Friday night and see what we can do, and then hopefully both teams stay healthy and move right on into the playoffs. So they're Division 7, Versailles is 6, and we're 5. So hopefully the three of us can make some good runs in the playoffs after this final week 10. So let's move on to the spotlight people. This is a little different one than usual, but I picked a guy, Miles Blassingame, who was our quarterback and really was a 3-year starter, but our quarterback his senior year, along with being a safety. He came back last week and was our scout team quarterback to help us because of Michael Osborne, who was Versailles' quarterback, and really a really good athlete and quick and could run and throw. So Miles, along with our sophomore Caleb Schrayer, did a really good job running our 2 huddles on scout team. So I want to make a shout out to Miles. We really appreciate that. He came out Tuesday and Wednesday for about 40 minutes each day and tried to emulate, I guess Michael Osborne. And in the end, we got him a couple times at the end on a couple sacks and on a draw, and so we'll give Miles a little bit of credit for that victory. So thanks, Miles. And then the other spotlight to tie in with Miles are scout teams. And scout teams, if you don't know, those are typically younger guys. We got a few old guys that will help us on that. Those are the guys that pretend like they're the other team. So I make a list. I try to match guys up, size-wise and skill guys, and we change jerseys. And so if they have a great receiver who's number 1, we'll put a number 1 on somebody so we can locate that guy. The O linemen know, or do they put their hand on the ground in their stance? Is there a shift? Is there motions? Are there on their snap count? We figure out their snap counts from a freshman or JV game or from the year before, and so we do all those things to try to make it look very similar. Now obviously it's not the same players, but at least the look and getting up and whether they huddle, whether they don't huddle, all those types of things. So our scout teams have done a really good job. We fortunately have enough players that we've even been able to rotate and have 2 huddles and things like that. So really proud of those guys, and it's kind of a thankless job, but that's how they get better. All those young guys playing against the starters. So the spotlight, Miles and the scout teams, and then our senior spotlight, Ethan Thomas, number 60, and Braden Quinn, number 66, are similar types of guys that we had last week. 2 senior O&D linemen that, for them, not playing as much, I'm sure, as they would envisioned and would like to. But if I just back up, they're part of that they're part of those scout teams that help us. And Ethan is a guard and a nose tackle. And then Braden is an offensive tackle and a defensive end. So they get some pretty good reps during the week. If we need them, fortunately those middle games 3 through 8 got some decent playing time in the second halves. Quinny got some good reps throughout those 4 games, even in the first half with the old guys. So proud of those 2 for hanging in there and to keep coming every day with a positive attitude and it's hard when you don't get to play a lot of varsity ball. They can't play JV, so they're basically being practice guys and scout team guys but really appreciate that they keep coming and hanging in there and just giving us good looks and doing the best they can do. So Friday night we travel to Marion local, and the game is at 7 o'clock, and then we move on to the playoffs, and all playoff games are Friday night, and then unless you make it to the state finals, maybe play on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. So hopefully, obviously, if we can make it that far, we'll be happy no matter when we play. So Friday night, Marion local, both 9-0.